Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is out now and costs $50. Blessing is hanging out with Hideo Kojima. And what time can you pre-order Switch 2 at the retailer of your choice? We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the master of hype, Snow Bike Mike.
Greg, good morning. What a way to start the day.
How does your tummy feel?
My tummy feels great, but you know what doesn't feel good?
There's conversation out there. You were sending caveman messages to Roger.
The worst responder ever. He's done this multiple times, where he just sends you one-word responses. And you're like, I just need to know if you're at work tomorrow, because if I call Greg Miller because I'm having some problems at 9:30 in the morning, who's going to step up? Who will carry the baton?
Yeah.
And now I've learned I can't trust Roger.
Well,
can't trust him.
What was the message you sent? Please read it verbatim.
Please, we don't have my cell phone on me, but I did.
That's convenient.
I wrote, hey, Slappy.
Nope.
This is important. Are you working tomorrow? And he wrote back triple question marks. And all I needed was a yes or no.
I do believe the reporting I heard.
Give me the reporting.
Was that you texted Roger last night, work tomorrow.
You work tomorrow.
I don't think there was a you in there.
Well, maybe I was going through so much stomach pain.
I think it was work tomorrow.
There was a lot of things happening. You know what I mean?
Because, like, if I get that text, I'm confused as well, because to me, that almost feels like you're asking me, like, are we playing hooky tomorrow? Baby?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, are we working tomorrow?
Well, you know, I just need a best friend. I need Roger to step up and just say yes, you know? The 3 question marks could have been 3 simple letters. YES.
Have you responded to Andy's split fiction text yet?
I haven't seen that one. Seen that one come through. But
maybe
what
get your
a great
glasses.
day, Greg.
What a great day.
It's Tuesday. You're back in the office. We missed you a lot yesterday.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. And this week, it's all about one thing. Okay? There's a lot going on, but none of that matters, because Switch 2 pre-orders go up, and you better get your credit card ready to swipe that thing, because I'm not missing out on a Switch 2 pre-order, big dog.
You don't even like the Switch that much.
Are you kidding?
You said weeks ago you weren't excited. You weren't excited for it.
I don't need a Switch. I should not be buying a Switch 2.
Sure.
I will be there at 9 p.m. West Coast time fighting Best Buy to go up at midnight on Wednesday, and then I'm hoping to God I get that. If not, I'm fighting in Thursday.
You save all this. We're going to talk about Switch pre-order times on the 4th story. All right, there's a lot to get through today, of course, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about live on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, and of course, podcast services around the globe. If you like that, be part of the show. When we talk about the news, you can write in with your YouTube super chats on youtube.com/kindafunnygames to be a part of them with your thoughts, opinions, and more. Kind of like Mellow Fellow, who wrote in a super chat and just said, Oblivion! If you're watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames or podcast services around the globe, please remember, we'd love you to pick up the Kinda Funny membership. $10 each and every month gets you each and every episode of all the content we do ad-free. That's more than 80 episodes a month. Of course, you'd also get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a one-man podcast series we call Gregway, which, of course, Roger did yesterday, talking about his WrestleMania review. Great job, Roger.
WrestleMania review?
Great job, Roger, of course. I'm not like Mike. I think you're doing a great job here. You know what I mean?
Don't put him in a headlock.
Damn, fuck. Okay.
Man, a couple of great WrestleMania highlights, some Monday Night Raw highlights.
Oh, man.
Can't wait to talk to you about it one day.
One day.
It's going to be great.
Not a content. Braun Breaker. You know what I mean?
Man, that guy's just a beast out there.
I digress, of course. No bucks tossed away, no big deal. Like, subscribe, share. Of course, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Gaming, Prime Gaming, whatever they call it now, Twitch Prime. It's a free 30-day sub you could give away to a channel of your choice. Why not give it to us, even if you're not on Twitch? Just log into Twitch, Google it, sync it up, give it to us, and then come back every 30 days, because it does not auto-renew, because they want you to forget about this benefit. I digress. Housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Immediately after Kinda Funny Games Daily, you're getting the one, the only, the Kinda Funny Gamescast. It is the entire crew and Easy Allies Michael Huber coming in to talk about Game of the Year 2025 so far. Get your hype and your love and respect ready for that.
Can I guess yours?
Sure.
Let me grab it up there. Schedule 1.
Fuck you. Insulting. Why are you not out there? I'm out there hunting all these monsters myself. You're not there helping me one goddamn bit. After the Gamescast is the one, the only, the kind of funny Screencast. It, of course, is our spoiler cast for The Last of Us, episode 2 of season 2. It's me, Tim, and Mike. Full spoilers. And then after that, it's going to be the stream where we will be playing The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. If you're kind of funny member, today's Gregway is 16 minutes about my WrestleMania FOMO, but it's not for the reasons you think. Of course, also, it would not be kind of funny if something else exciting and crazy wasn't happening. Friday, the Elder Scrolls Online podcast, a kind of funny Gamescast limited series, is back with episode 2. Matt Fyror and the one, the only Rich Lambert from the ESO team are back with myself and Mike talking about the 10-year journey. This episode starts with the game's rough launch and review scores before finding the ESO audience and building the playground they wanted. Come for the deepest dive of my career Friday on all your Gamescast feeds and Bethesda's YouTube. Of course, and our YouTube too, but it gets confusing to say all that. I can't thank you all enough for supporting episode 1. I was very vocal about how proud I am of this 4-episode series, how deep we got to go with ZeniMax Online Studios, and if you aren't an Elder Scrolls Online fan, if you haven't played it, it's still an interesting dive, I think, for our audience, because you love to hear how games get made. And I was so heartened to see so many of you respond in kind after episode 1, saying that exact thing of like, oh, I let this play while I cleaned, or this, that, the other. And I was like, wow, I really liked it. Great interview. Thank you. And again, they aren't pulling punches. They're talking about their mistakes, which is always exciting and fun. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Anatoly Ast, Delaney Twining, Carl Jacobs, and Omega Buster. Today we're brought to you by Imperial and Aura Frames. We'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news! 4 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Episode number 1. Also called story number 1.
Okay.
Nice.
The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is out now. Costs $50. We go to Wesley Yinpool at IGN.com. Bethesda has finally revealed the worst-kept secret in video games. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. In a gameplay video published online, Bethesda showed the new visuals and features for the remaster of its much-loved open-world fantasy role-playing game, which is developed by remake specialist Virtuos using Unreal Engine 5. Bethesda chief Todd Howard discussed the evolution of Bethesda games and the visual upgrades the near 20-year-old game has now received. Oblivion Remastered runs at 4K resolution and 60 frames per second, as you'd expect. Everything from the leveling systems to character creation and combat animations to in-game menus have been improved. Meanwhile, there's lots of new dialogue, a proper third-person view, and new lip-sync technology. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion launched in 2006 as a follow-up to fan-favorite Morrowind on PC and Xbox 360, with a PS3 release following in 2007. It's set in the fictional province of Cyrodiil and revolves around the player characters' bid to defeat a fanatical cult that wants to open portal games, I think that means gates, to demonic realms known as Oblivion, or the demonic realm known as Oblivion. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered launches today, April 22nd, priced at $49.99 in a shadow drop across PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5, as well as on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It weighs in at 119.2 gigabytes. God damn. Again, maybe you missed this trailer. Maybe you missed the presentation. Let me read, as Wesley's article goes on to say. Here's the official blurbs about what you're going on with, okay? The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered modernizes the 2006 Game of the Year with all new stunning visuals and refined gameplay. Explore the vast landscape of Cyrodiil like never before and stop the forces of Oblivion from taking the land in one of the greatest RPGs ever from the award-winning Bethesda Game Studios. Rediscover Cyrodiil. This is now bullet point stuff. Journey through the rich world of Tamriel and battle across the plains of Oblivion, where handcrafted details have been meticulously recreated to ensure each moment of exploration is awe-inspiring. Navigate your own story. From the noble warrior to the sinister assassin, or wizened sorcerer to scrappy blacksmith, forge your path and play the way you want. Experience an epic adventure. Step inside a universe bursting with captivating stories and encounter an unforgettable cast of characters. Master swordscraft and wield powerful magic as you fight to save Tamriel from the invasion. And then the complete story. Experience everything Oblivion has to offer with previously released story expansions, Shivering Isles, Knights of the Nine, and additional downloadable content included in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Snow Bike Mike.
Woohoo.
I, of course, am a Bethesda sicko. You know how much I love these games. You know how much I love Starfield. We can go back and through all of them. I never played Oblivion. This launches on 2006. I am working at the Columbia Daily Tribune. I have a video game column called Game Over. I have a 360.
Okay.
For some reason, the way it was sold, the way it was talked about, the number, I don't know. I can't go back and tell you. Totally was. I never thought about it. I started at IGN in 2007. I'm on the PlayStation team.
Okay.
So it comes to PlayStation that year. I still don't trust it's there. I just knew the horse armor joke. I don't know if it was something, if I was so young and naive and video games were very different back then. I think maybe I kind of associated this with WoW to a degree. Okay. Not that I thought it was WoW, but I put it in that class of PC game where I'm like, I'm never going to play that. That's not who I am or whatever. But I never, ever played this. So I am very interested. I'm downloading Oblivion at my desk right now and on the Xbox and, of course, on my ROG Ally X, so I can take it anywhere with me with the power of Xbox.
Man,
but I digress on that one.
You could see future you. They'd be giggling and laughing.
Man, I wish past me wasn't an idiot. I read EGM and IGN and GameSpot religiously. I don't know why I was skipping articles about Oblivion or whatever, where I was just like, oh, this doesn't sound like me. Maybe I didn't know.
Yeah.
In RPG at the time, it was a different thing.
No Morrowind ever before that? I know you weren't a big Xbox guy, but no Morrowind
never
before
did Morrowind. No,
okay.
No.
And then,
Jade
of course,
Empire.
Fallout 3, I'm sure.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Fallout 3 is where I start. Yeah.
That's great.
But you, of course, were a big Oblivion fan.
Yeah, I was a big Oblivion guy. Me and my little brother started with Morrowind back on the original Xbox. We were just two dumb kids running around that big world, not knowing what was going on. And then I think as we grew up, Oblivion really struck a chord with us on the 360, buying that first ever strategy guide for Oblivion and getting lost in the story and the fun of that world, right? Yeah. It's pretty special. I think everybody has their first Bethesda game, and it's crazy to be talking about a Bethesda game from 20 years ago, getting the big remaster treatment, and now if you're old like me, you're very excited because it touches, a special part of history for you, or maybe you're jumping in new like yourself, Greg, where it's like, oh man, this is a piece of history, and it's a great Bethesda game, and Bethesda games now after 20 plus years where you're like, I know what I'm going to get into, and it's going to be very similar to all of that. Yeah, that's the hope, right? Reading from the Xbox Wire, of course, they have a much deeper dive on this, but what I appreciate for them pulling out here is this. It also has new quality of life improvements to the original game, including HUD, menu, and map reworks, improved UI for systems like Persuasion, Clairvoyance, and more. Modifications to leveling, encumbrance, non-combat perks, and other mechanics. Improved enemy scaling, enhanced accessibility features, additional autosaves, revised first-person and third-person camera, and much more. I think that brings in our first super chat of what I imagine is going to be a long topic one. It comes from BF, who says, calling this quote-unquote remaster is underselling it. This is more than just upscaling graphics and bumping up to frame rate. Why not call it a remake? Snowbike Mike. I think that's when you just get lost in the fun terminology that we currently live in. What we all love in 2025 of what is a remaster, what's a remake, what is just a rebuild. I don't know. Really, for me as just a gamer, I'm just excited if it's a remake or remaster. It doesn't matter. I get to play it again, or new players get to jump in. You would have to talk with game devs. We would have to all come together and say, this is it. We're planting the flag on what these two words mean and how they should be seen. What's interesting, I think, is when the presentation, we talked about it from Wesley and Poole's report, and they call it a gameplay video, which of course is true, and you're watching it right now. There was a long, basically SGF style presentation. What you'd expect, where it is the devs talking about this and them talking to Bethesda Game Studios, talking to Virtuos about like what this means to them and what they've done and yada yada yada. And one of the comments there explaining it was that it's still the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion game engine as the brain, but the body is this Unreal Engine 5 running on top of it. Yeah. So I think that's where we get into it. We've argued this all the time, but I think it is the fact that they didn't touch, and I know we just listed a bunch of things, but it sounds like they didn't touch the core engine of what the game is. And so that would then disqualify it from being a remake, at least in their eyes. We're all with you. I have the chart over here. I see it. Like, I understand. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because it's not like they completely started from scratch. Built it from the ground up. I think if you go from the ground up, that's a remake, obviously. And, like, obviously, this is a crazy new coat of paint to put onto it. But I think still in their eyes, it's a coat of paint, But what a coat of paint. Yeah. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I can't wait to dive in after this. They added sprinting into this. That's a big deal. I mean, there's pieces of this that go far beyond just the code of paint, right? And so, no matter how you want to slice it, it's an exciting thing, right? Bringing this back from 20 years ago, your mind starts to wonder of like, could we get something more in the Bethesda universe? Another big remake that we all want, right?
You know they're making
Will
Fallout.
we bring older games that we kind of have to wait, right? This is the perfect drop of, well, we're waiting on 6, and we know 6 is going to be a long time from now, right? Yeah. And so this is going to fill that gap. Same thing goes for Fallout. We're waiting for a long time for Fallout. It'd be nice to get some of these classics back up to modern standard and beyond. But it's cool. I mean, it's funny. We talk about Xbox compatibility and your save going anywhere with Play Anywhere. You and I had that joke when we started playing on the cloud. I booted up Oblivion. It still had my save from 2015, 2013. Yeah. It's one of those crazy ones of you could still play this game, but now you get the super definitive edition now for $50.
If you want to go up, you can go to $60 for Oblivion Remastered Deluxe Edition. Of course, reading a little bit from that on the Xbox Wire goes like this. Available for purchase separately or as an upgrade to the base game. So again, just $10 if you're using Game Pass. The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered Deluxe Edition includes all of the above and adds bonus quests, unique weapon sets, unique armor sets, unique horse armor sets, digital art book, and official soundtrack. There's more to go get that if you want.
I liked, if you remember, Starfield had the digital art book, and I really found that fascinating. We would use that before the pre-streams of just putting it up, and it would cycle through all the artwork up on the screen because we're kind of moving past the days of getting the physical stuff. We're kind of in this 50-50. We're moving past that. But I like that. The soundtrack, Greg, the soundtrack on this game bangs, my man.
Again, as somebody who has a sight unseen on this, right? When they were talking about it in the presentation today, one of the guys said it was really the music, right? And they went back and forth to that song a few times, and I was like, damn, that is a song. I was hyped at the end when they did the whole thing and they ended. And it sucks. Again, as Wesley says, the worst kept secret in gaming, right? We all knew this was coming. Jeff Grubb just can't shut his mouth. He can't let people have a nice thing. So you felt for at the end of the video when the guy is like, "I'm so excited that I get to tell you it's available today." You know what I mean? It was like, oh wait,
interesting one on the release date. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, the Shadow Drop.
You come off of a 4-day weekend for many here in the States, of course, Easter Sunday and beyond. But interesting that we didn't drop this Thursday or Friday last week when everybody had a longer holiday. We waited until Tuesday, and it's been the worst kept secret because we've known about it for a while now. But it is out of the secret's out. Can we move this to before the weekend when everybody's going to be playing it?
The weekend, they got to hide the Easter egg. You got to make the ham.
The other question is just because I forgot when this came out. Why not save this for the 20th? You're about to hit the 20th anniversary next year, unless they have a busy next year.
I mean, my knee jerk would be, I think they just want to make money. I think make money.
Yes,
let's get going.
Course,
but Greg. I think with Fallout 3 remake or remastered in the chamber, you probably want to try to time that out around the show when season 2 of that launches, and they're filming that now, right? So that's probably next year, I would think. Hey, let's get that out and see if we can ride the success of that.
Yeah, no, there will be a lot of discussion. You could already see it when we talked about it yesterday, me and Jerica. A lot of people were a little upset about too many games now kind of stepping on the toes of Claire Obscura, Expedition 33.
Joshua Mitchell super chats and it says, any worry of this overshadowing Expedition 33 or is both being on Game Pass mean it'll have a chance to shine?
I personally think they're two very separate games. I think they're very distinct and different, right? You have a turn-based RPG and then a traditional Bethesda open-world RPG, more on the action side of things, I would call it. I think the audience will be pretty separate here. There will be some overlap, but I don't think, me personally, I think gamers just win of going, I have a bunch of games. They're on Game Pass. It's not like it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not taking it off the service, so I can play Oblivion all week and then Expedition 33 next week, or vice versa, or you play both. I think gamers play a lot of games. We shouldn't worry about one game taking over their life.
I don't know if gamers play a lot of games. I think people who watch the show play a lot of games.
I think gamers play multiple games a day. I don't think gamers out there play one game only for weeks on end.
We're painting with a very broad brush. You know what I mean? In terms of who we're talking about. Matt Piscatello wants to break through the wall right now and tell you a whole bunch of stats about it. My take on this is it cuts both ways, where I think you can look at it as overshadowing Claire Obscure Expedition 33, if that delivers the experience we all think it's going to deliver. But in the same breath, I do think they're very different. But I'm part of that breath where it's like, I'm not a turn-based guy. I like the demo I did of Expedition 33. I'm excited to see if that'll hook me and keep me going. But Now Oblivion goes to the top of the pile because I know I love that kind of game. I know how many people love this game. I'm hoping it connects. I'm hoping I lock in. But it could also be that I jump in, and even though old game is new, but still has old systems, and I'm like, why don't I just go play Starfield, which is always something that happens to me. Why don't I just I had been tinkering a long time ago, going back to Starfield or Skyrim. Then, of course, we're doing the ESO show, which we want to stream when we're done with the 4 episodes. I've gone in and made a character. I've tinkered. I enjoy what I'm playing there. Why don't I go do that? There's a lot that could go wrong on this and send you off of that, right? The other side to it, on the positive side, is I think that Expedition 33 is a game that, again, knock on wood, delivers. We all liked what we previewed. It delivers that in a review sense. And, again, the people who listen to shows like this and consume games like we consume them either jump right on it or know to do it or whatever. The other hope would be, as Xbox is always trying to do with this Game Pass thing, is they want a big game to bring you in to get it right now, and then before you cancel your subscription, you look around and you go, oh, this Expedition game came out, and I saw that it got great reviews. Oh, South of Midnight's on here. I remember a lot of people liking that. Oh, I never did Avowed. Like, they want a library surrounding this. I think that when you come in for the big thing, like Oblivion bringing you back, I know it won't be a astronomical number, but Oblivion getting remastered, dropping today, getting headlines is going to catch the eye of people who have lapsed in games, who haven't played since Oblivion or haven't done whatever, or have a soft spot for that game. And it will make them go, oh, but I can get, what is Xbox Game Pass? Oh, okay. And then you're in and you do want to try these other things, maybe. There's never enough time in anybody's day to play all the games you want to play. But in the long run, I don't know if the Oblivion conversation is going to be so long tail that it just runs ruckshot over Expedition 33. My hope would be that game delivers, so you have this big jump today. Barrett, when is Expedition 33 out? It's imminent. Is it 26th, 25th?
I want to say
is it Friday?
It's this week.
It's Friday, I think, right?
Yeah.
So the 25th.
But I would say, like, yes, the conversation.
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Okay,
so I don't want to. I don't think the Oblivion press coverage conversation runs over that. I hope that they dovetail again if it's good, and then it would be the continuation of like, what a week for Xbox Game Pass. Thursday the 24th. Thank you. What a week for Xbox Game Pass. Barrett, go ahead.
I get where you're coming from. I think that would be easier if, again, what Mike was saying, like if this had dropped, before the 4-day weekend, right? I think literally it being the same exact week. I think, coverage on this game that, yes, old game is old, but kind of new and stuff. Dropping just 2 days before, I think, becomes a bit harder of when does the Oblivion of it all kind of die down to give room for Expedition 33. But we'll have to wait and see on how that all shakes out.
Again, I think Oblivion, again, as somebody who hasn't played it, I'm a different case. But for people who remember it so fondly, and like one of the guys in the video said he played 10,000 hours of it. Granted, he's making the game, but I really do see that could easily be a lot of people are going to jump back into Game Pass to try it, to play it. But I don't know, are they going to roll credits on it? Are they going to play another 100 hours of it? Or is it going to be you jump back in, you get that comfort food, it looks so good, I'm back in it, and then hopefully again something like this surfaces and you go, oh, that sounds great, I'll jump over there and play it. We'll have to wait and see. We got lots of questions in here about Oblivion. Phil Shue writes in, super chatting, and says, hey, Greg and Mike, I managed to grab Oblivion in Fantasy Critic, and one of my competitors, Tavin, is debating whether it's legitimate. We do not allow remasters, but allow partial and full remakes. I'd love to hear your opinions. We, of course, have this. As you all know, Roger Picorni is cheating. He has it there. It is currently listed as a remake.
Okay.
And this is fascinating because the examples it gives as remakes is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Crash Insane Trilogy, and then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. All of which I would say are fundamentally different than what this game is.
Right.
But the site is saying that it's a remake, so it's like, that's on the site to kind of determine that, but I don't know.
What's the little broken link next to it? What does that mean?
So that means like it's out, but there are no reviews.
Got it.
And that's because it's a shadow drop.
Yeah. Roger's cheating. I think we'll all just admit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My take on this, to actually answer the question here from Phil Shue, is to remind you that none of this matters and it's for fun. Who knows? Is this site? This site isn't making a massive profit, right? I think they have a Patreon. Like,
Yeah, they have.
It's a bunch of people dealing with the fact that anybody can call their video game anything.
Yeah.
Everybody, calm down. Keep
I
your
took a screenshot of this and posted it just because I think it's so funny. Of like the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered tags remake.
Yeah, exactly. Are you fired up? Do you care? I think it's all part of the fun.
I mean, yeah, of course. I don't want Roger to win, and he's rounding out a really good team right now. But no, this is just fine.
Well, again, hopefully Expedition 33 is great and just cancels out whatever the
could be fantastic for me. Could be great.
Let's get some other people in here. Printy Dude super chats and says Xbox/Microsoft is having quite the year currently. Not sure they have a game of the year for the year, but impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, they're having a very strong start to the year. And we talked about this on the Xcast a while back of just
Rest in peace.
The past couple of years. They were quiet at the first half and then really punched you with a lot of games in the second half. And we wanted it to be spread out and share the love. And they're hitting that right now. They're definitely showing from Indiana Jones that kicked off in December into now, you've been flooded with games to fill out your Game Pass library, and it only continues, right? Doom the Dark Ages comes out next month in May.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, we go even further with the Summer Game Showcase. We know there's more games coming. We're talking about Outer Worlds 2 rounding out the year. That's 2 from Obsidian in 1 year would be crazy, right? So, yeah, they're hitting you with a lot of games. And as you talked about, right, the big thing about Game Pass is continuing to put more good titles in there to make you not want to unsubscribe. I think there was some months there in the past 2 years where there was moments going, is this worth it? Should I be paying $20, $25 for Game Pass right now when maybe I'm not getting those third-party titles coming in? I'm definitely not getting the first-party titles, and I think they're showing it right now that they can keep that going throughout the year, all 12 months to justify you paying for that, which is great.
You say justify you paying for it. Let's talk more about your dollars and cents. Over in the super chats, Colin Berry writes in and says, is the price tag surprising for Oblivion, especially if you can only get it with Game Pass Ultimate, which so far I'm still confused if it's available for PC Game Pass. I don't understand the confusion, and I also, Game Pass Ultimate, is there a difference between Game Pass PC and Game Pass Ultimate?
Yeah.
I have Game Pass Ultimate. It's over on PC. If that helps the conversation. I don't know if it does.
Game Pass Ultimate bundles everything. Game Pass PC is strictly for your PC.
Gotcha.
How you where you want to play, what you want to spend on.
Chad is saying it is on Game Pass PC vanilla. So there you go. But back to it. $49.99, $59.99 for deluxe. How are you feeling about this price?
I think with what you saw there if you watch the 20-minute breakdown, if you are excited about what we're considering, is it a remaster? Well, it looks like it's remake. It's so from the ground up. I think you're getting what you want out of this. For $50, I'm not mad. I think we talk about these remakes and where they stand. Game Pass kind of brings it a different fold into it all of like, well, it's just on Game Pass, and it's easy to say that, but when I get a proper remake like this, or remaster, whatever you want to call it, it gets me excited. And it's a Bethesda title, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to play Oblivion, you're going to get a lot of hours out of this. It will justify your $50 purchase.
Mike, as my Oblivion expert, since you're here, Marco super chats in and says, as someone who will be playing Oblivion for the first time, is there a specific time that you would recommend to jump into the DLC?
Yeah, it's been a long time for me. Margo. So I don't know the perfect answer for you, but my answer will always be whenever I play these games, just go with the story, get lost in it. And if you show up to a part of the DLC where maybe it's a little too much for you, back out and go the opposite direction. But I don't remember how these DLCs go. It was a very long time for me.
Chat, feel free to pop off and let us know what you would recommend if you want that. Getting back into this, there's just a fun one here. Guitar Hero Arrow says, stop, I have violated the law. I'm paying the Kind of Funny court a fine rather than serve my sentence. My stolen items are now forfeit.
So good.
Of course, referencing how it will be in Oblivion when you steal stuff, which is fun and like that. Anyways, though, I want to do one thing about this to get to that. Gondor's Condor says, my 30th birthday tax did Oblivion shoot Claire obscure numbers in the foot. We've talked about that.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. Yeah.
Happy 30th birthday. It will be very exciting to see that shake out. If you really want to start talking about Expedition 33, now you have Marathon doing a closed alpha, right? Sure, that's only going to be so many people, but there's a lot of games in the way, and there's been a lot of games no matter what this whole year and beyond. I say beyond a lot, but I mean, there's just a lot of games, so I don't worry about that. If it's a good game, it's going to shine. We all know that. If it's a great game, it's going to shine, y'all.
And Mr. Hawks in that line of thinking says, I'm not like Mike. Maybe it's OCD. Maybe it's Maybelline. I see what you're doing there. But when I start a new game, I'm locked in until I finish it. Expedition 33 is my future. So good. Commit
There
to what
you
you
go.
want to play
I
and go
love
with
that.
that. You know what I mean? Have some fun with that. Memo in the notebooks, getting an Oblivion one in here. Never played Oblivion, so I'm super stoked. Love you guys over at Kind of Funny. Shout outs to Cool Greg, such a real one. Hope to get you all to one of my shows. Oh, it's one day. This is Memo who did the musical thing down. And Cool Greg went to it. And then I had one more in here before we get out of this Oblivion rock block. Unless you write in with some more stuff. Calvin Perez says, is Xbox the king of shadow drops? Other than their inability to keep them secret, probably, right? I feel like, I think that's what's interesting.
Hi-Fi Rush was a well-kept secret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the lead up to this one, and then the rumor going from they're working on it to, it's going to be a shadow drop, you know what I mean? There was so much conversation of like, well, why would you shadow drop? Why would you shadow drop Oblivion? Why an Elder Scrolls game is so huge, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I think while we don't have a hard, here's the answer from anybody yet on that, read the tea leaves, it's working for them. The shadow drops are working for them and generating the buzz and the excitement they want. Yeah, people are calling out Ninja Gaiden as well, right? Like they're making these moves with games that they're seeing success with, that they're seeing the excitement, I guess, from gamers with.
I mean, you also see the pop in Game Pass subscriptions, right? Like the instant gratification of, hey, we just shadow dropped this game. Now thousands of people, millions of people will immediately go renew their Game Pass subscription, jump right back into that service is a big deal as well. And yeah, I think it's a fun time for the audience as well to get that instant gratification and go, oh my God, it's out now. How great and exciting, right? So I think it really depends on the game, the moment, what do you have going on in the calendar, and where do you go. But yeah, it's sometimes it fits very well for the game if that's the right move.
One Random Victory also puts it well. It saves a lot of marketing as well. Less money spent on marketing.
Generates its own marketing, right?
Yeah, exactly. For a re-release of a game that was praised and that people talk fondly about over the last 2 decades, that's an easy equation right there.
Dustin wants to super chats about them hopefully eventually adding mods to consoles one day. And then Arturotron Robo Bartender gets your final Oblivion comment for now in the super chat and says, what is a knight with a sore throat wear? Horse armor, Mike.
Nice. Yeah, definitely go buy some horse armor. I remember that fondly. And yeah, I'm excited
Change
for
the
this.
world.
Greg, this is going to be great for you to jump in for the first time. There's been a lot of these fantasy medieval RPGs this year when you think about Avowed and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And now this, if you're a RPG fan or an action adventure fan, you got plenty of games to play, which is awesome.
Mike.
Greg.
Should I stream it today? Should I stream my first time with Oblivion today?
Yeah, that's up to you, Greg. I mean, I think your first time is always special. You might want to be locked in and focused on that instead of having the Jabroni Boys laugh and cackle behind you. Especially with
what if I don't have the Jabroni Boys? What if I just play without any in there?
Yeah, I mean, with how much you love Starfield, I think it will be a big deal. If you're in the mood to play it, let's get you on the sticks. If not, maybe we get lost with me and Nick.
We'll discuss during this break. I'll tell you right now, everybody, that this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. We couldn't make Kind of Funny without you. We're an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. If you enjoy hanging out with us all day, you can just put on Twitch and watch it go. Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. You can put on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and watch it go, but you have to jump between the different links as we end to do the shows. But most importantly, if you love what we do, you should pick up a Kind of Funny membership, either on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, patreon.com/kindoffunny, Apple or Spotify. You can subscribe to Kind of Funny, get all of our shows, that's 20 a week, ad-free, and get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a 15 to 20-minute podcast all by my lonesome, where I rant and rave about what's going on in my life and answer your questions. If you like that, please do it, but right now you're not using your benefits. So here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Imperial. We've told you all how important it is to developers to wishlist games you're interested in on Steam. So if this game sounds cool to you, make sure that you wishlist it. In Imperial, you play as a mercenary sent to a distant planet to discover the mysteries of an ancient civilization. Powers unknown lie within the monolith, but those are no mere ruins, as an expedition has already ventured inside with only a few survivors. Why was it built? What powers reside within? Who is at the center of the monolith? All these secrets and more will be uncovered if you are brave enough to take on Imperial. Imperial features a unique blend of RPG systems and skill-based combat across 3 weapon archetypes: the acrobatic glaive, the defensive but devastating mace and shield, and the powerfully ranged cannon. With a deep ability system and extensive customization, Every battle is an opportunity to refine and optimize your combat style. Form relationships with each of the few surviving expedition members who all have their own personal quest lines. Whether you choose to help or not can have drastic consequences for them. The monolith is guarded by powerful automatons, each with distinct attack patterns and weaknesses that demand precise execution and strategy to be victorious. Create your mercenary, enter the monolith, learn powerful abilities, defeat the automatons, and uncover the secrets that lie within Imperial. Imperial is available May 8th on PC, Xbox S and X, and PS5, but you can wishlist now. Do it! Wishlist Imperial. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. If you haven't called your mom in a while, here is your reminder to do it. But then if you want to go above and beyond, Mother's Day is coming up and I have the perfect gift idea. Aura Frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. It's a gift so special, they'll use it every day. Trust me, Gia's dad does, Greg and Kevin, and a ton of people here at Kinda Funny are obsessed with their Aura frames. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app, and I know that from experience. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com. Promo code Kinda Funny. Support this show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back. Number 2 on the Roper Report, everybody. The one, the only, Blessing Adeoye Jr. is in Japan. And apparently, he's hanging out with Hideo Kojima. We go to Instagram.com/Blessing Jr., where we see this beautiful photo of Bless hanging out with Kojima in front of the Ludo Astro Man. And it says, if I had a nickel for every photo op I've had with Kojima and the looted statue, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but still crazy that it happened twice.
Lightning twice.
You might go,
twice.
what the fuck is going on?
What is he doing?
And I will tell you, Blessing, not great at reporting.
Oh, okay.
Who is great at reporting? Dan Reichert, who has the exact same photo and says, I'm thrilled to be spending the week at Kojima Productions in Tokyo and playing a ton of Death Stranding 2. Look for my preview on GameSpot on May 8th. Damn. Of course, that means you don't have to look for Dan's thing on May 8th. Blessing will report on it on May 8th here on Kinda Funny. That'll be a Gamescast. YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Podcast services around the globe.
Death Stranding 2 with Hideo Kojima in the studio.
They're playing.
I can't wait to hear all about it. I'm very excited about that.
Now, I wish I could be excited.
Yeah.
I really wish I could be excited. But Blessing being in Japan means only one thing. I am being railroaded. I am being screwed. I am being shortchanged once again as your stars in the bank holder.
Yes.
As everyone knows, I was awarded this stars in the bank briefcase because of my acumen at Kinda Funny Game Showdown. And when I was bequeathed it, the rules were simple. I could cash it in at a moment of my choosing to challenge Tim Geddes for one of his stars. Then, of course, I was so good this season, it became 2 stars. Then, of course, I was so great this season, it became 3 stars, thanks to Carl Jacobs. Thank you, Carl. And so I made a very honest, a very sane, a very kind move. And I told them I wanted to cash in on the Switch 2 reveal day. During the stream, we'd have the most eyes on us. It would
As
be an amazing
Blessing's
thing.
legal counsel, I feel like you did that in bad faith, but you continue.
Cut your own mic. Then they all went to New York. None of them were here for me to challenge with the briefcase. And I sold t-shirts. I'm so sorry I put dates on them. You know what I mean? I just didn't know the dates were I didn't know the date was going to be a bad date.
Again, bad faith, but continue.
Cut your own mic. And so then it was like, okay, cool. I can still cash in whenever I want to. Then Friday, a little show called Kinda Funny Game Showdown goes down.
Hey, now.
I fucking win.
Yeah, you did.
You know what I mean? That's a spoiler.
Yeah,
but it's also, you know how it's going to go.
You could have watched. That was a long weekend.
Yeah.
Should have
The
watched
show
that.
starts and Blessing reveals that the next episode of Kinda Funny Game Showdown is the season finale. And he says it's not next week, it's the week after. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got 2 weeks to cash in.
2 weeks.
I got 2 weeks to cash in Stars in the Bank whenever I want to. Then he goes to Japan.
Uh-oh.
According to Dan Reichert, he's going to be gone all week. So that's 1 week off the board.
Cut 7 days off that.
So now I can't, even if I wanted to go challenge Tim the Slug Geddes, I couldn't do it right now because there's no one here to ask the goddamn questions.
Yeah, but we have a backup host for that show. His name is Nick Scarpino. Let's get him out of here.
I don't want him giving me questions.
Let's get him out of here.
I still haven't watched The Heat, so it wouldn't help me out. 1 second. One day I'll get him. I'll get my 3 stars. But
As
for
Blessings legal counsel, who sent him to Japan?
I do believe Kojima Productions or Sony. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Who's his boss?
That's superfluous.
Okay.
I don't need to worry about that part of it.
I rest my case.
You say you're excited. How excited for Death Stranding 2 are you?
I'm very excited. I mean,
That doesn't feel like a game that's right around the corner, and it's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. So excited that I'm willing to jump on a treadmill and go step for step with Sam Porter Bridges while Roger plays through it for the first time. I can't wait for Death Stranding 2. I can't wait for that experience with Roger because you know I love getting high on that Kojima joint. And this is insanity. This whole Death Stranding game is that to the 10. So I can't wait to see what he does on number 2. Can't wait to see what Roger thinks of Death Stranding 1 because it's insane.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. When are you guys doing that? Have you set a date yet?
Yeah. Roger actually wants to do it after Blessing's big preview. So hopefully you will get excited off of Blessing's preview in early May. And then we will come right after that with our own playthrough of Death Stranding 1 to get you ready for the big June, I believe, release date.
That is right. June 26th is
awesome.
the release date there for Death Stranding 2. Running out of time to replay Death Stranding 1, which I'd like to do.
What are you looking forward to for Death Stranding 2? Because this is a weird, wacky
place.
game.
I'm in such a weird place with Death Stranding 2, where I really enjoyed Death Stranding 1. Even at launch, I talked about it being meditative. I enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. But like, I was also very gung-ho on the review. I'm going to try to go back for the platinum. This seems like, but it was one of those games that once I left and I tried to come back one weekend, I was like, oh, wait, how do I do this? What do I do? Blah, blah. And so the moment passed. So I am not, oh my God, I can't fucking wait for Death Stranding 2, but it's Kojima.
Yeah.
And it's the sequel to a game I really enjoyed. So I expect as we get closer, me to be there. You know, get on the other side of SGF.
Yeah.
You know, get on the other side of the Switch 2. And then sit there and be like, okay, cool. I'm having a lot of fun playing Mario Kart, but I want to get weird. I want to go have stuff with black stuff pouring out of
Do you think this is going to affect you
eyes.
differently this time? Because now you're a father.
No, I think
Like,
it's
this
too
might,
crazy.
This might hit you a little bit
The
differently.
story of BB and fucking Sam Porter Bridges last time around, that still hit. That still hit hard. That end when he says the name, hell yeah, you know what I mean?
got
Like
a
that.
feeling like that. Maybe it hits you a little differently. We'll see what it goes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he ramps up and changes up just a little bit. I still expect, of course, a lot of walking. I'm looking to see how connected the worlds are. I thought that was always novel and fun of like, hey, Washi over there built a bridge. Now it's in your world.
Hey,
right?
Washi built the bridge over there.
What are we going to see with this? How does he connect the strands of all of us playing this game? Is that the same kind of stuff? And what is the action element? How do you take that up to another level? And does he do that? Or does he just say, no, that's not for this?
We'll have to wait and see, everybody. June 26th is not far away, but neither is May 8th. When Dan Reichert will talk about it on Giant Bomb, or GameSpot, but you assume
Blessing will talk about it here. We will make him talk about it here.
There'll be no time left to lose.
But he's got to ask one question. Hey, Hideo Kojima, did you watch that Snowbike Mike movie?
What is up with that? Where's the reporting on that, Bless?
I mean, you were standing right next to the guy.
What did you think?
You watched that Snowbike Mike Goes Big DVD?
How great would it be if he just gave it back? He's like, just shakes his head like, no.
It didn't work.
Yeah, or he's like, I tried to put it into my console and it didn't read it.
It didn't work.
And we have specific instructions on how to use it. All right. Yeah. Number 3 on the Roper Report. Steel Seed is out, or the review embargo's up. We have a quick little review roundup. You might say, what's to Steel Seed?
Yeah.
It's this espionage game that I thought looked cool based on a trailer. So I'd kind of been keeping my ear to the ground on it. Right now on Metacritic, it's a 65. IGN's Jarrett Green gave it a 5 out of 10, which of course ain't great. Steel Seed is cursed by mediocrity. Its combat is a low point, so abrasive that I'd rather restart whole areas when I got caught rather than have to navigate its jank. But its real problem is that everything else, from the bland characters and predictable story, to the forgettable locations that the tale takes you through, to the initially fun stealth sections that eventually wear thin, will lose the fight for a spot in my memory as soon as I'm done with this review. That's a real shame, because there are a handful of shiny chrome moments to find here. A handful of shiny chrome moments to find here, but they are buried under a whole lot of rust. So a bummer. You know, I like cheering for the little games. So I see someone come around, I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then I look at this one, oh, that sucks that that didn't turn out. But mainly it's for me because I downloaded it already. So I'm happy I didn't sink any time into it.
Okay.
You know, so it all worked out in the end.
Have you thought about just returning to Hitman, the ultimate stealth game?
No.
Hitman rules.
Hitman's a fine game. It's not Metal Gear, though. You know what I mean?
Okay. Tough to get up to Metal Gear level.
It's
Okay,
a stealth game.
I know.
You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. And then your final full item, number 4 on the Roper Report. Let's talk about your Switch pre-order times. We go to the one, the only, Blue Sky, where Wario 64's pinned Blue Sky Skeet talks about the timing of all this. Of course, we are here, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. This is the week you will be seeing your Switch actually be pre-orderable. So Wario64 says, Best Buy has confirmed that Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders will go up on April 24th, midnight ET. Current Switch retailer pre-order drop times. GameSpot, April 24th, 11 a.m. ET online and at store opening in stores. Target, April 24th, 12 a.m. ET midnight. Walmart, April 24th, 12 a.m. ET midnight. This works out great for us because that's 9 our time.
Of course.
West Coast, best coast.
It's going to be a big deal for us. That's right. So what do the people out there need to do? Because this is one of those big moments of like, hey, let's refresh you on what you should probably do. Make sure you're signed into everything. Get your credit card information updated.
Go to all these
right
sites right now.
Address.
Put them in there. Put your cards in. Put your billing addresses in. Delete all the old stuff.
You have done this before. You should not get sidetracked and feel defeated on this one.
Yeah, I don't want this to be 858. You're like, oh no, it's got my old credit card.
Like, put yourself ready to jump in here. And of course, be prepared to refresh, have multiple tabs. Go for this. Gone are the days where you and I would say, man, if this is dropping Thursday at 8 a.m., we got to go camp out at about Wednesday at 6 p.m. in front of GameStop.
Do you miss those days?
And I miss it.
I could go for one more.
I'm tempted to do it this week. Now, I
camp out outside of GameStop.
I think you pushed me off of Thursday games daily, which means I might. If our GameStop nearby opens at like 8 or 9 a.m.
No.
What if Snowbike Mike spends the night out there? I'm thinking about it. Because you got to lock this down.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
It is.
This is one of those where you're not going to want to miss out. You're going to get the ultimate FOMO. You're going to get upset that you're not playing Mario Kart World with Barrett.
Yeah.
You're going to be playing Donkey Kong the next month. And if you miss out on that, you're going to be upset. I'm thinking about it. But one more follow-up. What's up with that email from Nintendo? I gave them my information.
That's a good
now,
question.
people were saying, oh, that's not till May. I would like just a confirmation on that somewhere of like,
tell me something, Nintendo.
Are they sending me that email this week, or is that somehow I'm out in May and there's still a pre-order for me?
It's a great question. I hadn't thought much about that.
Haven't seen that
Chat
email.
says May 8th is when they are doing that on their end.
Nobody's got time for that.
That's a long time from
That's a long way out. We can't worry about that.
But I think that's a good backup, though. If the stars are not aligned for you Thursday or Wednesday night, Thursday morning, that is a solid backup, especially if you have at least 50 hours of gameplay on Nintendo Switch Online.
Let's talk about as well the local shops. Let's talk about our GameStop, the dying GameStop. Right?
Yeah. How many are they gonna get?
Thank you.
You're not the first 4.
Should I be pre-ordering online, or could I have the confidence to say Snowbike Mike's going to stay out all night in front of the local GameStop? If I'm number 4, are they getting 4 pre-orders in on that?
Fine.
You think so?
I think you'd be fine on that. Yeah.
That's an exciting moment. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'll be there 9 o'clock.
Refreshing all the
tab.
tabs.
No, I guess not GameSpot. 11 a.m. Eastern. So
yeah,
we'll be
you got to
here at
remember
work.
a couple of these are 11 a.m., right?
Just 2. Or
Walmart and Best Buy are in the midnight 9 p.m. And
so
then
is
the
Best
other
Buy.
2 are
Best Buy, Target, and Walmart are all there at
GameStop
midnight.
is the only one that's like
Yeah.
the next
So
one.
you gotta
So I
be
got to have
prepared
3
for that.
tabs ready to go. But then it's a 4th tab that is just Wario 64, whoever.
Yeah.
Can be
Oh,
directly.
Well, I would say 7 tabs.
Yeah.
You do 3
7
tabs of those sites. Then you do 3 tabs of those same sites in incognito mode, just in case of like cache issues or anything, where like maybe incognito mode can load that site a little bit better
he's going
than like
incognito mode.
Chrome.
Yeah.
And then Wario.
Wow, damn, that's fucking, that's
done that.
hardcore. Barrett's getting a Switch for sure.
I mean,
Mario
you're talking
Kart.
to the
Come
Switch.
on,
Yo,
guy.
I know, I hear you,
It's
bro. I
been
hear you.
fucking
That's the
11
guy.
years?
He's definitely getting a Switch. Is right.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I'm zooming in. Let me see what time So this one doesn't open until 11 a.m.
Yeah.
That's a big hope of like, oh man, system I burned down over at GameStop before that. Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. You're talking 9 p.m. the night before for us. So if it gets to 9:15 and you haven't secured one, have the bag pre-packed, have your go
Well,
bag.
you got to expect kids will already be there.
Yeah.
There's a kid out in front of San Francisco Nintendo store right now.
That's
who's
different.
been
That's the
there for
Nintendo
months.
store. That's the Nintendo store.
Yeah, but he's there. And that means somebody will be there. There's always somebody before you.
That's
Always
fine. But
know
again,
that.
you have to be in the top 4.
Top 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think top 4 you could get at 10
Top
o'clock.
4. 10 p.m. you roll up. You hope that you're top 4.
Here's what we do. Here's
Let's
what
do it.
I'm
Talk
gonna have
to
to
me.
tell you what
Let's
to do.
have a
'cause I
little fun.
We should take care of this GameSpot. Stop. So what I'm saying is, you secure yours at 9:02. Everything's great.
Yeah.
You should still roll over there with the Kind of Funny credit card, give them some pizzas, and then we should swing by and give them some donuts. These are 5 new Kind of Funny best friends we could welcome into the fray.
Hey now. Okay. Just be ready. For all of you out there watching and listening, I know this is a big deal. Everyone is very excited. This is one of those pre-orders you probably don't want to miss, so be prepared.
Getting your Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order will be a big deal, a huge deal. Some would say the largest deal of all time. But I'm sick of this big news and large news and huge news. If I wanted something small, say the tiniest news I needed to know about, where would I go?
You
Snowbike
would
Mike.
go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Your 5th story, the Wii News. IGN reports that the first season of Fallout is getting a 4K Steelbook and pre-orders are up today. Also on IGN, they're talking about the accessibility features of Days Gone Remastered. It'll let you slow down the game speed, among other things.
That's cool.
I tell you what, for a game that was already too long, let's slow it down a bit, make it 20% longer.
Damn, that's crazy.
Madden's release date has leaked, apparently, via Bill Kuhn. VGC is reporting that EA Sports Madden NFL 26 will be released on August 14th, the same week as the NFL preseason start, and a couple weeks before the main season on September 4th.
Nice. That's good.
Today, Marvel Games and NetEase Games have announced a new game mode called Giant Size Brain Blast. Giant Size Brain Blast is a new limited-time game mode where up to 12 players can compete in matches to earn a Brain Blast emote and epic title rewards. When players complete 10 matches in Brain Blast mode, they will earn the Brain Blast goddammit emote. Stop saying Brain Blast. Additionally, at the end of each round of the event, title rewards will be distributed to the top 500, top 100, and top 10 players for each hero on the final leaderboard.
Oh.
The first round of Giant Size Brain Blast begins April 25th, with round 2 kicking off on May 2nd.
I'm confused. Is this like a collaboration with
Is
Jimmy
this in
Neutron? Like, what's
Marvel
going on?
Rivals? What is this
Yeah,
in?
what- is
Marvel.
It never says what the
Marvel
game is.
Games.
Oh
and
shit, you're right.
NetEase
I might have
Okay.
edited that out because it was such a long press release that I was
Okay.
like, get to the fucking
We
point.
need to talk about all of the different.
My
Brain
apologies.
Blasts.
It is Marvel Rivals.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
gotta be Marvel.
apologize.
Okay. Good to know. So you get a special emote.
What I cut out is that, and they were like, we also released Art Vision Volume 1, a new deep dive online video series for Marvel Rivals. I
Who
cut that
doesn't
out.
love that? Man, game's still big.
Huge.
Doing a great job.
But if
Yeah.
I was sick of big games, no, sorry.
Really pleased with that, Greg. I don't know if you've seen the release calendar, but like they're gonna pump out heroes and they're gonna keep
Good.
you playing, and that was really impressive to see. I'm happy with that.
Post Trauma now available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Season 3 of Project Relapse has arrived in the Outlast Trials, bringing a host of new content, including Trial Maker Mode, a fearsome new enemy, and a new prestige system, Mikey.
Thumbs up to that. I am so happy to see that that's still going. I love Outlast Trials. Trial Maker Mode is always exciting when you give it to the people out
Turn
there.
it back
and
to
let
the
them
people.
create.
Give them the power.
We'll see what happens. It'll be fun.
And then today, Blizzard Entertainment invites players to step into the world of Berserk, the legendary dark fantasy manga, in a first-of-its-kind crossover event spanning Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal. And then, Barrett is adding in Missed Wii News.
We have a new game from Xalavier Nelson Jr.
Oh!
Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 is out now. Goofy, sincere, weird as hell Metroidvania action. It's like a match 3, but with a lot of twists and turns on it. And, you know, if you like the vibe of Xalavier Nelson and the crew over at, I'm blanking on, Strange Scaffold, go check that out. Support the homie.
I like Match 3, so I will check that
You're a
out.
Match 3 guy.
I will check that out. I like that quite a bit. Thank you, Barrett, for helping me find that. And that's all your Wii News. To look through some Super Chats that we haven't gone to. Super Chats! Rave Lord Oh,
Nito.
Rave Lord Nito. I'm a CS student at UO trying to get into game dev when I grad next year. I have a ton of queues about game dev, but have no one to answer them. I just want to talk to actual game devs at Games Industry Queues on Blue Sky. If you're a game dev and want to talk to someone who's trying to become a game dev, go to at Industry Queues on Blue Sky. And then I would recommend that AIAS Game Maker's Notebook podcast. There'd be a lot of people on there talking about the ins and outs of game dev to try. Steak Sticks Animation. Play Split Fiction with Andy, Mike. We all want it.
Yeah, I like that. I want to get to the crazy laser level. Have you seen that one?
Oh, like the one you have to like do all the
Yeah,
crazy.
the super hard one. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Corey Clark became a member for 10 months and said, I hope the Alan Wake 2 streams continue. One of my favorite games ever.
We had a great sponsored stream by NVIDIA yesterday where me and Nick got to play Alan Wake 2, showcasing DLSS 4. But, on top of the sponsored stream, it went beyond that.
Yeah.
It connected with me and Nick. We had a blast.
Had you not played
playing
Alan
it.
Wake 2 yet?
No.
Oh, wow.
We both experienced a lot. We had a lot of fun.
man.
Completed 2 chapters.
Uh-huh.
Game go places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I'll
I'm
tell you
aware.
what,
We all really liked Alan Wake.
Game
I
might be
told you to
good.
play
Game
that.
might be real good, y'all.
Think about that could have been our game of the year if Mike played it.
Could have
That
been
would've been.
game of the year.
Shit.
I will say, I hope maybe we'll see.
Of course, moving on. Oh, yeah. So maybe you'll play more, you think? Or-
Well, I got to get Nick through Pokemon. Really trying my best just to poke him through Pokemon.
You were supposed to do it today, but I am playing Oblivion. I've
I got
grabbed
a
the
lot
wheel. I'm
going
playing
on with
Oblivion.
Nick. Is right. I'm trying my best.
Ray Owl says, Mikey, this small contribution in Super Chat is so you can buy a sweet treat for yourself since Andy doesn't seem to want to bring you cookies anymore.
Thank you, homie. Yeah, he's trying to get me fat, and I love him for it. Great, kind of funny podcast yesterday.
I saw the thumbnail.
Yeah, it was a great time. We had a lot of fun. We missed you, of course, Greg. We missed Tim and Bless, but the crew here together on a special Monday when Nick's in control. There's a different vibe to us all, and we leaned into that vibe. I sat over on the subwoofer, and we had a fun podcast on that one.
Looking forward to listening to that. Yeah. Available now everywhere. It's Topher 9000 Super Chats and does all emojis. 3 stars coming to the bank. So it's me coming
to you.
Maybe I guess next week. Maybe Tim will have a vacation next week.
You're on his timeline now, which is crazy.
I mean, you have to do it before the season ends.
On your timeline.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you know what I mean. It's supposed to be on your timeline.
Maybe we go to Japan. Maybe we all climb the plane right now. Me, Tim, Roger. We meet up with Bless over there. We do it in front of Kojima. Because that's the thing. Wouldn't that be it?
So embarrassing.
What if I was able to take it and embarrass Tim in front of one of his favorite Japanese developers?
That's actually pretty cool. That's
what
if
I
idea.
did that to you, Tim? Embarrass you in front of one of your favorite Japanese developers? Maybe that's the ticket.
It's early in the week.
Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe that's what we'll do. You know what? We got a lot of money nobody's paying attention to. I can buy all this stuff.
We just won't pre-order the Switch. It's fine.
Hold on a second. Vivacious Super Chat says middle of the workday tax. Challenge Tim to a joust on horse full armor. That sounds like a lot of work. And then William Millard has a final super
flying
chat.
us all to Japan. Very easy.
I gotta get a horse. I gotta get armor. Oh, I gotta get a big stick.
Have you ever been to a Ren Fair and thought, I'd like to jump up on that horse and get one?
Never been to a Ren
Fair. You've never been to a Ren Fair?
No.
Well, you got a child now, so
we
you'll
almost
definitely
did
be going
medieval
to one.
times in Chicago, but it didn't work out.
Medieval times is pretty fun. I'm not a big fan of medieval times, actually. I don't like the
lost a
food
USB
being
drive
out
there?
in the open air, getting kind of close to the horses and stuff. I'm good on that.
Fair enough.
I'm good on that.
And then William's super chat is, Greg, your time is now, buddy. Hit your buddy Kojima up to serve the news.
Oh.
But again, we all have to be together.
Ask him about my DVD as well. See what he's got.
Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, that's another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily in the Bank. Speaking of banks, I have stars in the bank. Eventually, I'll cash it in on Tim and get my 3 stars. I digress for right now. Of course, we are an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. Hopefully, you've been watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Maybe you're listening later on podcast services around the globe. We're about to roll into the Gamescast where Michael Huber from Easy Allies will join us to talk about Game of the Year so far. After that, it is the Screencast, Last of Us Part 2. Well, that's not right. Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2. It's a mouthful. And then after that, I'm doing it. I'm starting Oblivion for the first time. I'm kicking everyone out of the room. It will be intimate. It will be you and me chat. I won't talk the entire time because I'll be getting lost in the sauce. It's how it's going to go, and I'll play Oblivion all afternoon with you. If you like what we just did and what we're about to do, remember, pick up your Kinda Funny membership, youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, patreon.com/KindaFunny, Apple and Spotify. You can get all of our shows ad-free. You can, of course, support us. You can get good karma. You can get Gregway each and every day. However, this show's over. So until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.